Los Angeles County is supposed to be the social safety net for the region. And so that's, DP, I'm going to not use acronyms. The Department of Public Social Services, so your CalFresh, CalWorks, Medi-Cal benefits, Department of Public Health, Department of Children and Family Services, the social safety net. So providing services for the most vulnerable, those who need it. Cities, municipal governments are supposed to provide municipal services, keep the streets clean. You got your fire department, police department in a city's case, in unincorporated areas like where you all live. The county, Supervisor Mitchell, we're basically your mayor. We are the departments are the providers of municipal services, but we oversee the departments. So that's why you all see county fire, county sheriff, county public works. So just wanted to provide an overview of the county's role and the role that we play in your areas. So we are your direct form of representation, and that's why Supervisor Mitchell created an unincorporated area team, which I had the honor of being the first staff on that team. I'm sure I've probably met you all at community meetings over the past 2.5 years or so that I've been in this position, and our team is growing. We have Alfonso, and we also have a couple more people. So we're building the team out because, it's an utmost priority for Supervisor Mitchell to be laser focused on the unincorporated areas. And I can proudly say that she is the only supervisor that has an unincorporated area team, which gives us the bandwidth to be able to be laser focused on certain issues that we'll present in a second here. So I'll pass to Aire on how you all can be civically engaged with us.
Thank you so much, Tyler. I'm a little shorter, so I'm gonna adjust my mic. Hello, everyone. My name is Aire, and I'm Deputy for Constituent Engagement for Supervisor Holly Mitchell's office. And I cover the cities of Hawthorne and Lawndale, as well as unincorporated communities that we'll cover today. I want to start by appreciating all of you, every single one of you who are here in person and virtual. We're so glad that you're here. Thank you so much for joining us. And I will share how you can be engaged through LA County. And I want to start the presentation by sharing the phrase constituent. By constituent, we refer to individuals that are connected to the area by living here, working here, or have stakeholder relationships such as coming to Del Aire Park. You guys are all constituents. And so as constituents, we'll share ways you can engage with LA County government and second district. Can you hear me? Okay, wonderful. A little bit louder? Okay, I got you. So one way that you can connect is through calling our office, emailing our office, and you can come to us with any government questions, and we can help you to get to the right place to get the help that you're looking for. Another way you can be engaged is following our e-newsletter. We have a regular one, Mitchell Memo, and we also have unincorporated area newsletter. So if you go to the registration, we'll be more than happy to sign you up for both. So if you need help, let us know. So that's one way you can connect with us. And not only our office, but county departments also have communication platforms, and we have social media accounts. So we encourage you to follow them. And through that, you will be able to learn about various resources and events that can be helpful for you and your neighbors. And we also have Volunteer Coalition for the Second District. This is like a group of volunteers that we created. So as you reach out to us and be part of the Volunteer Coalition, you can experience and support some of our events. And some of the Volunteer Coalition members attended our Racial Justice Learning Exchange program and various events. So that's a cool way to participate. And last but not least, you can also engage with the county through policy making and legislation process, in which we'll go over in the next slide. So at the top is this board meeting. At the county level, we have Board of Supervisors meetings. And basically, at that meeting, we navigate policy and legislation at the county level. So those ideas are presented, discussed, and voted on. But checking the public comment time and agenda time. That will be really helpful. So that's one way you can engage. And as it says on the screen, the meeting is held at Kenneth Hahn Hall of Administration building in downtown LA. And the meetings start at 9:30 a.m. on select Tuesdays. And I wanted to let you know this slide will be shared to all of you so you can refer to it later. And yeah, again, the Board of Supervisors meeting, you can attend in person or virtual. And we also have cluster meetings, which is basically different meetings that focus on specific topics of interest. So that can be housing and homelessness, community services, health and mental health, public safety, and various topics. So these cluster meetings are available for you to also join. They're also held at Kenneth Hahn Hall of Administration building in downtown LA. You can join in person or virtual, and these are held on various times on select Wednesdays and Thursdays. And we also have meeting for Governance Reform Task Force, and this meeting is held on select Wednesdays from 5:30 p.m. at various locations throughout LA County, and you can join in person or virtually. And lastly, we also have numerous commissions, committee, and task force groups. We will share this slide, and you can check out the QR code and visit. And any way that you would like to be involved, feel free to join these meetings, and you can participate in legislation of LA County.
So one of the main things that Supervisor Mitchell ran on in 2020 when she was elected to the Board of Supervisors was really establishing an equity framework in the county. And equity means, equality kind of assumes that, we're all equal. And of course, that's the goal. But of course, how you achieve equality is through equity. Some people may need a little boost in order to be successful and achieve, what we call the American dream or the California dream, the Los Angeles dream, whatever you want to call it. So 2020 was really a pivotal point in our society, if y'all remember, with the pandemic, and then a lot of protests and conversations around racial justice, police brutality, et cetera. So in 2022, Supervisor Mitchell started this initiative called the Racial Justice Learning Exchange. They are monthly meetings where we talk about different issues and how they intersect with race and how we kind of confer with each other as a society. I certainly encourage all of you in this room to at least try to attend one of them with us. The next one will be next week, where we'll be talking about social media and artificial intelligence and the role that can play as far as racial tensions. And, all are welcome at those events. They are not intended to shame anyone, make anyone feel bad, about themselves or where they come from. We want to have honest conversations and how we all can play a part in achieving equity, because we all play a role, and it starts with a conversation and acknowledging certain things. So we all go into those, open-minded, and we certainly encourage you all to come spend some time with us next Wednesday at West LA College. We'll have a slide at the end with more details for that. Next slide, please. Okay. A top priority probably for all of us in Los Angeles is addressing homelessness. So prior to 2023, when Pathway Home was established, there was no protocol for addressing RV encampments, recreational vehicle encampments, which I'm sure we've all seen really blow up since the pandemic, because some people, a lot of them do work, but they just cannot afford a place to live. So they unfortunately resulted to still living on the street in an RV, and the county had no way to really address those. So Pathway Home intends to put them on a pathway to permanent supportive housing. And once they accept that pathway to permanent supportive housing, they relinquish their RV, and we crush it up so that it can never return to the streets. And like I've said twice now, they get put on the path to permanent supportive housing. So to date, countywide, we have moved over 2,000 people into interim housing and have permanently housed over 700 people. There have been 75 total RV encampment resolutions, and of course, there's different types of encampment resolutions. There's, sometimes where if they're in a restricted space that they can't be in, sometimes they are relocated. There are times where, while the county is working on identifying and allocating beds, whether it is a shelter or another temporary solution or the permanent solution. Sometimes they'll just clean up around the encampment, because sometimes when we hear from residents, a lot of people say, of course we want them to be housed, but we don't necessarily mind them being here, but the trash and the junk that accumulates with an encampment is certainly problematic. So we try to be creative and address things multiple ways. So that is a pathway home. If I could finish reading off the statistics, about 1,300 RVs have been removed to date, and over 700 people have been permanently housed. So, it kind of a drop in the bucket, but we got to start somewhere. These things take time, and we have seen a decrease 2 years in a row now for street homelessness, and we're certainly proud of that. Next slide, please. And we need you guys' help if you see an encampment, you can report encampments in the public right-of-way on the Works app. How many people are familiar with the Works app? Okay, good. A good portion of you. It's an app on your phone. It's called The Works, spelled exactly how it is on the screen. And you can use that app to report, say, illegal dumping, whether a homeless encampment. I believe you can do parking enforcement issues now on that app. And there's a bunch of different issues that you can report directly to Public Works, especially with illegal dumping. I use it all the time. They come and pick it up within 48 hours. And that's also a tool that we use for RV encampments, because you can simply just take a picture of something and it'll pinpoint that exact location. And so that, pictures help us, exact locations help. And data is important to know exactly where people are and how we can best meet them where they're at. So you can use the Works app. Oh, sorry, go back real quick. You can use the Works app. You could call this number, 1-888-838-6746. That also goes to DPW, or a separate entity. You can visit la-hop.org to request an outreach team to that specific location, and they'll go and build a rapport with them so that there is trust, so that they can accept housing and services and come off the street eventually. Okay, some municipal service improvements. And I worked on this one pretty hard, so I'm pretty proud of it. But parking enforcement improvements, we've made a lot of parking enforcement reforms over the past couple of years. In 2024, we wrote a motion to increase staffing over at parking enforcement, gave them $8 million to do so, to increase their staff. I know some of you were familiar back then. I remember talking to some of you. We were initially exploring moving that department to Public Works, because Public Works is in charge of, the street signage and all that. So we felt that, for continuity purposes, it would be best in that department. But that was deemed infeasible. We engaged the labor force of parking enforcement. They raised a lot of safety concerns with us, and we adhere to it. So they're in the sheriff's department still, and I hope that you all have seen some improvements as far as they've been able to pivot or improve to 24-hour coverage. So they're moving towards that. Before they were just covering 9 to 5. So early morning, late night, when parking is toughest in dense communities. They were not there. Now they are. So we're currently in phase 1 of the improvements. They're making good progress with filling some of those positions that were budgeted. And pretty soon, hopefully in the next year or so, we'll move to phase 2, and they'll get some more budgeted positions. so they can improve their capacity and serve as many communities as they can. I do want to state, the goal with improving parking enforcement is never to be a money raiser, cash cow for the county. Our goal with parking enforcement is to keep the public right-of-way clear so that those who live in the community can park there, and most importantly, that emergency vehicles have enough room to pass by. And, when you have people double parking, even parking in the middle of the street, I'm sure you guys have seen it, if not in your community, other places in LA. It's an issue. And I do want to clarify, sheriff's parking enforcement only covers the unincorporated areas, so you won't see our parking enforcement in like the city of LA or Inglewood or Hawthorne, anywhere else. Okay, so the next couple slides are these initiatives are to provide a pathway to legitimizing your food business. I know that street vending is a top priority for most of you guys in this room, and it's definitely a priority for us too. First, I want to present on micro enterprise home kitchen operations, or MICOs for short. Essentially, it's a way to legitimize selling food from your home kitchen. You still have a inspector from the Department of Public Health that comes and approves everything. They look at the way you're handling the food, the way the food is prepared, and if you are successful in that, you can become a MICO. And we established a program in October of 2023. For those with an annual revenue under $50,000, 1,000 applicants could receive permit costs. So if this interests you, if you're interested in selling food from home, you can scan the QR code and get more information on it. Okay, so like I said earlier, I know that street vending is a top priority for this community, and it's certainly a top priority for us too. Similar to Pathway Home, prior to Supervisor Mitchell's motion to establish an ordinance to regulate street vending, there was no regulation. Before that, it was decriminalized on a state level. So the county's hands were kind of tied in our unincorporated areas on what we can and cannot do. So after the ordinance was passed, that at least on paper gave us some regulations on how to bring those people into compliance. Right now, we're still working with departments to increase their capacity to be able to fully enforce the ordinance. I want to clarify that the Department of Economic Opportunity is only tasked with outreach to educate vendors on how to come into compliance. And unfortunately, right now, due to pretty aggressive federal law enforcement presence, the Department of Public Health has kind of shifted their resources to going after the large distributors, because as some of you may have noticed, a lot of the individual street vendors are connected, and if they're cited and their food is taken away, they can re-up, in the next 20 minutes or so. I'm sure some of you guys have seen it with your own eyes. So right now, public health is working on going after the big warehouse, larger distributors for street vending, and they have been pretty successful with enforcing on some of those. However, we definitely hear from you all, the residents, about some unsafe conditions at some of these food stands. So we are advocating to staff up the Department of Economic Opportunity so they can beef up their outreach in a way that our communities, you all, expect them to. And unfortunately, the CEO has not increased budgeted positions for the Department of Economic Opportunity despite our efforts. However, the Department of Economic Opportunity continues to help sidewalk vendors come into compliance with the resources that they currently have. So we'll continue our advocacy for sure on that. And we'll keep you all in the loop if there's any organizing efforts, if we need you all to come at a board meeting and make your voice heard, we'll definitely do that using some of the tools that are presented on earlier. Next slide, please. Okay, so the Shared Prosperity Pledge, also known as the Anti-Poverty Pledge, the Anti-Poverty Pledge, which of course right now is very timely, given that expenses for most of us are at an all-time high. I mean, groceries, gas, everything is up right now. And some of the key goals of the Anti-Poverty Pledge are to increase enrollment in CalWORKs for thousands of families, increase access to free, good quality tax preparation services so people can maximize their tax benefits. Working people can maximize their tax benefits because we all know, it's very easy for a wealthy person to have, enough resources to do that. But sometimes, working people end up paying more taxes than the ultra wealthy. So we definitely want to do something about that. And it also encourages community partners and cities to keep residents enrolled in public health care benefits. And speaking of health care benefits, HR 1, House Resolution 1, also known as the One Big Beautiful Bill, hate calling it that personally, but it really is gutting funding for these social safety services, and tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of residents have already been unenrolled from benefits after December, after the whole government shutdown fiasco. And we want to keep everybody informed on changes as quickly as possible and how to work around them so that you all can make the most financially feasible decision for yourselves and for your families. So the county created this digital resource hub that you can all access at the QR codes on the screen. Social workers at county libraries. So in June of last year, the county started a program to embed social workers at county libraries to assist people experiencing homelessness and connect them to mental health and housing resources, which takes a huge load off of our librarians that are not trained, and it's not their job to deal with that kind of stuff. And also our law enforcement that should be out there, fighting crime, and the social workers, take a load off everybody to be able to provide them with services on the spot. And we'll definitely keep you updated on results for that as more reports come out for that. And with that, I'm going to pass back to Aire to go over some specific things for your communities.
All right, so we'll go over community updates. Again, I appreciate everyone who's here today, and we will share some of the ways that we have worked with our unincorporated communities, and we will start with Wiseburn. So we have partnered with an organization called Wiseburn Watch. I see members from Wiseburn Watch and residents. Thank you so much for being here. And our office has worked together on different issues such as navigating through county department communication and whatnot. We provided different assistance at a community level and individual level. And we also partner for events such as National Night Out. The Wiseburn Watch hosted many National Night Out events, and we're happy we partner with them. As you can see in the photo right here, we hosted these events at county facility, Wiseburn Library. So yeah. Some other ways we work together are listed here. So Wiseburn Walking Path, we have communicated on this matter, and when it comes to vegetation maintenance, the bollard lights and whatnot, we ensure that Department of Parks and Recreation can continue to provide support. So we work together on the Wiseburn Walking Path, and there have been different concerns on traffic safety. So we did the sidewalk with the Public Works team. We also did a walk audit with the Department of Public Health pedestrian plan team. So most recently it kind of subsided, but dispensary has been a huge concern past few years. So I appreciate Wiseburn Watch, being the lead to communicate with the department, such as County Council and the Office of Cannabis Management. They joined the meetings and tried to provide assistance. So that's one topic that we worked on together. Next slide, please. Now, moving on to the Aire community. So this community, there's an organization called the Aire Neighborhood Association, and they're also known as DNA. I see some of you from the group, so thank you so much for being here. And with this group, we worked on different things, such as county department assistance, providing assistance at individual and community level. This particular community had a thing called mitigation fund that they received from a nearby developer. So we worked together to navigate that. And also we partner for different events. At the top, there is an event that we had called Santa Parade. And at the right bottom is when we had when we joined the Aire Neighborhood Association's St. Patrick's Day event. And the photo right here is when DNA leader was working on tree planting campaign. Next slide, please. And another subject we worked together is the South Bay Area Plan. And for this, I know for other communities, there was West Side Area Plan. And with the state regulation, there has been a lot of moving parts. But for South Bay Area Plan, we work with this community. And from our team, staff like Isela Gracian, Pamela Leo, myself, work together with the Department of Regional Planning. And I appreciate the DNA leaders too, because we wanted to make sure that we communicate with the community, and the leadership played a big role to have communication together. Next slide, please. And another ways we work together is traffic safety. Some of you might not know, but in the Aire, there are wide streets like Judah Avenue where airplanes used to land, and street racing and late night street takeover has been a concern for this community. And as we work together, our colleague Annie Yoon is no longer in our team, but she has been really instrumental. Her, myself, DPW, we work together to ensure that there can be improvement on traffic safety. And most recently, DPW happened to have pool of funding that they were able to use. So we created traffic circle, as you can see in the photo at the top. That traffic circle was never created at the county before. It was first of its kind. And we also implemented bike lanes, speed bumps and whatnot. And we were happy to hear from nearby residents that when it comes to traffic safety, that helped around the area. Next slide, please. Another project that happened in the Aire is LAX Suites Hotel. Some of you may have heard of Project Home Key during the pandemic. This is essentially Project Home Key 2.0. And this is permanent supportive housing. And there are 47 units for residents, and there's on-site staff that also live. So there's 48 units total. And our team joined the meeting by Venice Family Housing. And at the bottom, there's a grand opening photo where Supervisor Mitchell also joined. Next slide, please. Okay. Now we're going to move on to El Camino Village and Moneta Gardens. I see individuals from El Camino Village Community Watch Association, also known as El Camino Village Neighborhood Watch. I appreciate you for being here. And I also saw individuals from Moneta Gardens, so we appreciate your presence. And so Moneta Garden is a smaller unincorporated area. It's mostly resident, but not too active. So for example, when Supervisor Mitchell had unincorporated area town hall for each of our unincorporated communities, we combined the outreach for El Camino Village and Moneta Gardens for proximity reasons. And for this slide, we'll also combine together. And also Moneta Garden is also known as Hawthorne Island. Can we go back? Oh, no problem. Thank you. So for El Camino Village Neighborhood Watch, we worked on different events, assistance with county departments. We attended their meetings. And also, let me see. This is irrelevant to the Neighborhood Watch, but there's a large Hawaiian organization that hosts annual Hawaiian Festival. So our office also work with them. So Hawaiian Festival is a huge event that's happening in the area. So we also work on that. And let me see. With the Neighborhood Watch, we partner for different events such as holiday events and community events and whatnot. Next slide, please. Thank you. So as all of you know, there is awesome El Camino College. I see individuals from college too, so thank you so much for being here. And we're so grateful for El Camino College because it's been a fantastic partner with our office. And the college has its foundation arm. Our office provided fiscal sponsorship a few times to help with their basic needs center. And we also partner for so many events, such as our Racial Justice Learning Exchange program. We had food distribution events there, Veterans Resource event, job fair, graduation commencement, and more. So we're so grateful. And if you see the photo on the left side, that's when El Camino College soccer team won state and national championships. So they were recognized at Board of Supervisors meeting. And at the right top is when supervisor joined Department of Economic Opportunity team for their grand award ceremony. And at the right bottom is when we had the State of the College event. And for this community, we assisted in navigating different issues like street vending, new apartment increase, and infrastructure safety. On the photo, you can see when one of our staff and Department of Economic Opportunity visit for street vending increase. And let's go to the next slide. All right. So we'll quickly go over some of the past events that we had. And some of you might know that I used to also cover City of Gardena, but I don't cover that anymore. But one thing we wanted to make sure is whenever we have these events, we want to make sure that our unincorporated community members can also benefit from them. So really quickly, we'll list the events that we hosted since Supervisor Mitchell got here. So we held various senior resource workshop events, food distributions, veteran resource events, National Night Out with Wiseburn community, Fall Job Fair with El Camino College. We also had family resource fairs at Alondra Park and Urban Magic Johnson Park, which was partnered with Gardena High School. We also had small business resource events in Hawthorne. We had the Ho'ola Ulea Hawaiian Festival at Alondra Park. And Department of Public Health pedestrian plan had walk audits in the unincorporated communities. And we had end of the year holiday events where our team worked with the unincorporated community leaders to give away candy canes. And most recently, our team worked with local school districts to ensure that we can share safety net resources for our community. And LA County can impact our unincorporated communities through policy and government services, but this is a cool partnership we had with Wiseburn Middle School. And this was a time where our office gave financial sponsorship. So the middle school was able to purchase 215 books by authors from different backgrounds and books about individuals from diverse backgrounds.
This is regarding Measure ER, which if you've received your ballot, you've probably seen it. I do just want to provide some information on it, and I want to state I am not allowed to sway you or dissuade you from this, as we are on county time and not campaign time currently. But I can explain why Supervisor Mitchell wrote the motion for this. So it's a half percent sales tax on non-essential items. So that means that groceries, medicine, and items purchased with public benefits like SNAP, WIC, CalFresh, all that do not apply. The sales tax will not go onto those. And this motion was written to put this on the ballot because, like I presented earlier, federal legislation like H.R. 1 really is gutting I cannot emphasize enough, gutting the social safety net of Los Angeles County. So this was put forward as truly a last resort to backfill those expenses so we can keep everyone covered. So it's on your ballot for June 2nd. If it were to pass, if the voters were to pass it, vote in favor of it, it would take effect on October 1st of this year and expire automatically after 5 years. If you have specific questions on that, we have a fact sheet at the registration table. I would direct you to that, and I want to avoid verbal questions on it because, like I said, not allowed to sway you one way or the other on it. Next slide. Okay, participatory budgeting. How many people want to get involved and decide on where the heck their tax money goes? Nobody? Are y'all awake? Come on, please, come on. Okay. Okay, so participatory budgeting, in short, we did a pilot program for Ladera Heights and Florence Firestone where we allocated $1.7 million in discretionary funding. And in short, allocated that money and asked the community, how do you guys want to spend it? And the pilot was, of course, successful because who knew when you ask taxpayers where they want their tax money to go, it brings great success to the community. So we're currently in the implementation phase of implementing those programs. They range from everything from more green space initiatives was the top thing voted on in both of those communities, even though they are pretty socioeconomically different. It ranges from green space initiatives to fitness classes at the seniors centers, to digital literacy classes for seniors and youth, youth job programs. Even in Florence Firestone, you can apply to get $500 to help you with your expenses, and you can claim that $500 up to 3 times within a year, so totaling $1,500. So we're pretty. I want to say the bounds are limitless. When we engage with the community, good things happen. And since the pilot was so successful, we'll be bringing this to all of our unincorporated areas. Everybody will get one phase by 2032. So we look forward to working with you all when that happens. We engage a advisory committee made up of community members. And they help us inform the process, determine some whatever, limitations, restrictions on who can decide where the money goes. We push out surveys to the community. People tell us, give us ideas on what they want to see. We then work with the advisory committee to turn them into concrete proposals, and then we put those concrete proposals on a ballot. It won't be like the ballot that you get in the mail. It's different. And people vote, and then we implement it. So really, really look forward to bringing that. I've had the honor of co-leading that project with Francisco, our environmental justice deputy, and we look forward to expanding that and working with you all on that. So hope you're excited as much as we are about that. Next slide. Okay, non-conforming vehicle ordinance. We heard a lot of push for this from our communities, mainly in like the South Central unincorporated areas. Non-conforming vehicle ordinance governs where oversized vehicles can park. So that's RVs, box trucks, big rigs, large sprinter vans, anything that meets the dimensions that are on that sign, 8 feet wide or 7.5 feet high or 20 feet long. If it exceeds any one of those measurements, it is deemed oversized, and you're not allowed to park it in an unincorporated community anymore, unless you have a permit. You can obtain, I believe, 24 to 48 hour permits from your local sheriff's station. So if you're loading up your RV to go to Coachella for one weekend, you can do that and obtain a permit to do so. And we're doing this in all of our unincorporated areas, despite most of the push for it was from the South Central areas, like around Compton, Gardena, South Central LA. And if we ban it there and not here, then they're all going to come over here. So we wanted to avoid that and just nowhere in the second district, please. And not every district did that. Next slide, please. Okay, street takeovers. Aire presented on this earlier about Judah Avenue. It's one of our top policy priorities right now for the unincorporated area team. How many of you have been trying to sleep one night and have heard just the doing donuts? Maybe you've been caught up in one, hopefully not. They are a nuisance on every level in Los Angeles County, creating noise pollution, actual pollution, not sure the scientific term for that, but from burning the rubber and the smell and the smoke, and also an extreme safety hazard for everybody that's shutting down that intersection and doing the donuts. People lose their lives, and we've really been like spearheading the issue for the county. We wrote a motion to create a street takeover reduction work group, which is made up of any county department that touches this issue, and of course hits it on multiple different heads. We have Sheriff's Department, LAPD, Highway Patrol. They signed a memorandum of understanding with other law enforcement agencies so they could tackle this as a regional issue. We're also going to the schools, educating folks there as a prevention method to educate people on the dangers of doing street takeovers, even just participating in a street takeover. And that effort is pretty successful too. Kids are given surveys after, and they do report that they're less likely to attend one after receiving those educational materials. Pictured there is our one of our partners, Street Racing Kills, who does those programs where they go into the schools. They also do diversion programs and they partner with the district attorney on those. And just this past Tuesday, actually, we passed an ordinance to double the fine for participating in street takeovers. Before it was $500. Now we're going to take $1,000 off of you for participating. Anybody participating in the takeover, organizing it. We also target social media companies saying, hey, enforce your own terms and conditions. Not allowed to promote illegal activity on your platform. Can you please take it down and ensure that they can't make money off of this? Because that's the main thing that's driving the activity is the views, and the views turn into money for them. In October through December, if I could just brag one more point, just stay on this slide. In October to December of 2025, we saw a 72% decline in the 2nd District compared to that same period in 2024. And street takeovers are declined in the county-wide unincorporated areas and the contract cities that the sheriff is with, 33% countywide. So yes, they still happen, and we're not going to stop until it gets zero or close to zero. So hope you all have seen some improvement with that, because we've been working very hard around the clock on that stuff. Next slide. Okay, this is our last slide for the presentation before we go into questions. Some honorable mentions. If I can get this mic right. Aire presented on the South Bay Area Plan earlier, and I know that may have been a sensitive issue in the communities, because I certainly understand my community was affected by the West Side Area Plan. We love our communities the way they are, and we want to preserve the character and the history. So when you see plans and new buildings popping up, say multi-stories that may be quite a bit different than the single-family homes that we dwell in, and kind of start to see the change of the character of the community. So we're pitching and exploring what's the term here? A local preference to housing solutions in our unincorporated areas. So imagine being able, when you see whether it's affordable housing or market rate. I think some of the root fears of that is that, the character of the community is changing. Me and my family, my children will not even be able to see the benefits or live in these. We'll get priced out and we'll have to move eventually. So we're exploring having community get first preference to some of those housing developments. It's not a for sure thing. We passed the motion. I believe it was unanimous to explore looking into that, seeing what's feasible and how the county can adhere to those needs. Because when area plans were coming up, the past couple years across the county, there's a lot of opposition. I do want to remind folks that the county had to rezone and upzone a lot of parcels to account for the state's mandate to allocate for more housing units in unincorporated areas. I believe it was close to 100,000 units that had to be zoned for total in unincorporated communities, not just this one. So we're trying to empower you all so that you all could get more involved and preserve the characters of your communities. Also exploring ways to severely reduce and address illegal dumping in our unincorporated areas. I'm sure all of you have seen, piles of trash, whether it's around encampments or by the train tracks or just in the middle of the the street or the sidewalk. We're exploring ways to address some of the root causes for those, holding people accountable, beefing up enforcement on that, and exploring some other ways that we can reduce illegal dumping. Because we find that, most of the time Public Works is pretty responsive to cleaning up illegal dumping. And I think the illegal dumpers have caught on to that, and they know that they could just do it and the county will clean it up, whatever. But that's going to come to an end. What else do I have for you guys? Access to resources for our unincorporated areas, and this will be the last thing, I promise. We're working with the CEO's unincorporated unit, the chief executive officer of the county's unincorporated area unit, to be more creative in how they provide information to you all, our unincorporated area residents. So maybe some of you all have like a little thin unincorporated area resident guidebook. We're working on refreshing those so that, before the county books are sorted like in alphabetical order by department, and it's a little hard to follow. Now they're going to be sorted by topic so that, you can find exactly what you're looking for and get the information that way, and some other refreshments to that. So you all should see those pretty soon. And last but not least, working on protecting your communities when the Olympics come in 2 years. I'm sure that's a big source of anxiety and uncertainty for you all. We're going to currently kind of use Lennox as a testing ground for the World Cup in a couple weeks, as far as like creative solutions to protect, the parking stock and traffic flow in the communities. I know, we're not too far from Inglewood right now, and I'm sure some of you experience effects, spillover effects from concerts, big events, and stuff like that.